Muscle cars from the 1960s are more than just machines. They represent an entire era of American automotive culture. The roaring engines, sleek lines, and raw performance embodied a sense of freedom, power, and rebellion. These cars were more than just transportation. They were symbols of a rapidly changing society. Some muscle cars became legends, with names like the Mustang, Charger, and Camaro etched into the collective memory. But not all of these powerful machines achieved the recognition they deserved. Over time, some of the most impressive cars of the era have been overlooked, overshadowed by more famous names, or simply lost to time. 10 such forgotten muscle cars, each with their own unique legacy. 1. AMC Marlin, 1965 to 1967. When you think of American muscle cars, the name AMC probably doesn't come to mind right away. But the AMC Marlin, produced between 1965 and 1967, was one of the first attempts by the company to break into the muscle car market. AMC, known for its more family-oriented models, tried something different with the Marlin. It was a two-door hardtop with a slightly odd blend of sporty and luxurious design, more grand tour than pure muscle. It featured a V8 engine with up to 270 horsepower, a respectable number for the time. But the Marlin's styling didn't quite click with the public. Its long, sweeping lines and rear-end design were unconventional, to say the least. Was it a muscle car? Was it a family car? The Marlin struggled to define itself, and unfortunately, it never captured the imagination of car enthusiasts. In fact, only around 40,000 were ever produced. While it didn't become a household name, the Marlin's experimentation with muscle and luxury still stands as an interesting footnote in automotive history. 2. Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport, 1963. Now, we know the Chevrolet Corvette is an icon of American performance, but the Corvette Grand Sport is a hidden gem, rarely mentioned in the same breath as the standard models. Introduced in 1963, only 5 Grand Sport versions were ever built, and they were specifically designed for racing. 3. Ford Torino Talladega, 1969. Ford's attempt at muscle car dominance in the late 60s led to the creation of the Torino Talladega. Built with NASCAR in mind, this car was designed to be aerodynamically superior. The Torino Talladega featured a specially designed front end with a sloped grille and a slightly longer nose to reduce drag on the racetrack. However, despite its advanced design and aggressive performance, the Torino Talladega was a limited-run model, and Ford only produced around 750 of them in 1969. Due to its niche appeal, sales were lackluster, and after just 1 year, the Talladega was discontinued. The car is a perfect example of a model that had immense potential, but was tragically overlooked by the masses. Today, the Talladega is a rare find, a forgotten prototype of what could have been Ford's racing legend. 4. Plymouth Barracuda, 1964 to 1974. The Plymouth Barracuda is another car that showed great promise, but failed to achieve the iconic status of its competitors. While the Barracuda was one of the first pony cars, launching 2 weeks before the Mustang in 1964, it was never able to shake the image of being a second choice. The first-generation Barracuda had a distinctive fastback design and sporty characteristics that made it stand out, but its market appeal never quite hit the same highs as the Mustang or Camaro. Despite a successful first year of production, the Barracuda was often overshadowed by other, more famous muscle cars. By the time the more popular models emerged, Plymouth had already moved away from the muscle car market. The Barracuda's legacy remains strong with enthusiasts today, but mainstream recognition has always eluded it. 5. Dodge Polara 500, 1965. The Dodge Polara 500 represents an interesting chapter in muscle car history. While it wasn't the most hardcore performance machine, it was a powerful luxury muscle car aimed at buyers who wanted both comfort and speed. Equipped with a V8 engine, the Polara 500 was a fast and stylish vehicle. However, it didn't capture the imagination of car lovers in the same way the Charger or Roadrunner did, and within a few years, its popularity waned. Though the Polara 500 offered a smooth ride and impressive power, its mix of luxury and muscle never quite struck the right chord with the muscle car crowd, and it quickly faded into obscurity. In the end, it remains a forgotten entry in Dodge's otherwise successful lineup of muscle cars. 6. Mercury Cyclone Spoiler, 1969. Mercury's Cyclone Spoiler was created with NASCAR in mind. The 1969 model featured a unique rear wing, a powerful engine, and a more aggressive look than other Mercury models at the time. But despite its excellent performance and racing pedigree, the Cyclone Spoiler failed to gain traction in the consumer market. Its unconventional design, paired with limited production numbers, led to its demise. The car couldn't break free from the shadow of its more popular competitors like the Mustang and Camaro. While it performed well on the track, the Cyclone Spoiler remained largely unknown to the general public and is now seen as a rare collectible among muscle car enthusiasts. 7. Buick Skylark GS GS 1965. Buick's contribution to the muscle car race came in the form of the Skylark GS, first introduced in 1965. With a 325 horsepower V8 engine, it was a serious contender. Yet, unlike its Chevrolet or Ford counterparts, the Skylark GS never achieved widespread fame. Part of the problem was that Buick's brand was seen more as a maker of luxury vehicles rather than performance machines. As a result, the Skylark GS didn't have the same street cred as its rivals. Even though it offered incredible performance for its price, the GS struggled to capture the hearts of muscle car enthusiasts, and its reputation remained somewhat under the radar. 8. Oldsmobile 442, 1964. Oldsmobile's 442 was a revolutionary muscle car when it first debuted in 1964. The name itself, 442, stood for 4-barrel carburetor, for speed transmission, and dual exhaust pipes, a set of features that signaled Oldsmobile's intent to play with the big boys. Powered by a V8 engine, the 442 offered incredible performance. However, it was often overshadowed by larger brands and models that captured more attention. Though it was one of the first muscle cars to establish the blueprint for future performance machines, the Oldsmobile 442 didn't gain the recognition it deserved, even though it was a crucial part of the muscle car movement. 9. Chevrolet Chevelle SS 396, 1965. The Chevrolet Chevelle SS 396, introduced in 1965, is often regarded as one of the most powerful and high-performance muscle cars of its time. However, despite its impressive performance, the first version didn't sell as well as later iterations. Though the Chevelle eventually found its place in muscle car history, its first version was largely ignored in favor of flashier, more popular models. The SS 396 had everything a muscle car enthusiast could want: raw power, a large V8 engine, and incredible speed. But its initial sales numbers were lower than expected, and it's often left out of discussions when talking about classic American muscle cars. 10. Ford Mustang 428 Cobra Jet, 1968. The Ford Mustang is undoubtedly one of the most famous muscle cars ever made, but even within the Mustang lineup, some models get lost in the shuffle. The 1968 Mustang 428 Cobra Jet is one such example. With its 428 cubic inch V8 engine, it was a powerhouse, yet it never garnered the same widespread fame as other Mustang variants. Though the 428 Cobra Jet was designed with performance in mind, it was overshadowed by the more famous Mustangs of the era. Today, it remains a lesser-known version of the legendary Mustang, despite its incredible performance and place in muscle car history. These 10 cars, while often forgotten, each left a unique mark on the history of muscle cars. They were part of an era that celebrated power, style, and innovation, even if they didn't achieve the legendary status of the more famous models. Each one represents a different approach to the muscle car formula, a testament to the diversity and ambition of the automotive culture of the 1960s. They may not have achieved lasting fame, but for those who know their history, these forgotten muscle cars continue to be a cherished part of the American automotive story.